Okay, dimensions look fine. Let's see what they play. Play e4. I'm gonna play a Sicilian. I think I'll play the dragon. This is actually a weird move order for the dragon, I believe, but it should all transpose. Do you really play g3 before? I don't know. They push, which I don't really care about. I mean, I do, but I don't. And now we have pressure on the knight. Okay. Is there any way I could maybe abuse this situation? I mean, can't I just add an attacker though? Just get a very dry game. Maybe not. I mean, they go knight here, but then I have check. So that should be fine. But here and they go here, I assume it's like whatever. I go here. I don't know if there's really anything they can do that's actually scary. I guess if they go here, I go up here and they push. I can't take either the knight or the queen, and I'm under attack. But what I could do, for example, I could play bishop here, and it's probably okay. And take the no, but then just take the queen. Well, no, then I take the queen, and then I'm winning this piece, I think. So we're gonna go for it. Hopefully I've calculated everything okay. This should lead to a lot of trades, I would think. This square also does cover this square, actually. So that's something I didn't calculate, but it's probably fine. Takes, takes, takes. I think takes and we're good. I do believe this works. It better work. Not I've lost the game to playing fancy. Okay, so they just do that, but now I can take here, I think. Um, or why would I take there? That doesn't make much sense, does it? Take with a bishop. So they're just going to try to play h3, but it's probably good enough. Go here, they push b4, and I just go all the way back. And maybe I hope they've made some weaknesses there. Just trade. Yeah, it all looks okay. I'm just gonna go back. And maybe they'll play h3, but I'm not sure I dislike that for me. This knight feels very under pressure. For example, if I go to this d7 square, their knight's getting kind of trapped at this point. They might have to have doubled pawns. Oh, I could have taken their knight, actually. I think that's a missed opportunity. Takes, and they'd take like this, but my bishop would still be on, and I'd retain my dark squared bishop very comfortably while getting rid of theirs. So that was a missed opportunity for me, I believe. But maybe it's not, as after they play, for example, b3 trying to defend the knights, then it's just a hanging piece. And I don't know what else they're gonna do. If they take, well, yeah, they just take. And I take, probably. And I have some good pressure, but... Well, I guess if they defend the knight like this, then they're just like... Okay, here the piece... Well, no, but this hangs, right? Takes, 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 takes. Takes? I do believe that works. And this should be a pretty simple win, I would think. Unless I'm missing a tactic, I am up a piece. Oh, the rook defends. I'm dumb. But... Okay... What if I just kick the knight? I feel like that would work, right? Where's the knight going? Yeah, I'm playing a lot quicker than I normally do. I don't like this for me. A lot of room for me to be sloppy, but I think b5 wins, right? Now I can take it, though, as the rook no longer defends. And then maybe I break with a5, or I get castled first, I don't know. I think I'll play a5 first. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to go about this whole king safety thing in this game. Takes, takes. Well, I guess I want that square for my knight. So takes, takes. And then I play knight h6. But then they can block it. Um, Block me from moving further, so that doesn't even work. Takes, takes. I also want to play f6. You know what I want to do? I want to let them take. Then I want to just push the pawn. Is that crazy? Or it takes here. Then I just move the bishop here and like castle. I think I do let them just take the pawn though. And I play like a4. I mean, I'm up a piece. I can afford to lose a measly pawn, I would say. Okay. I guess I'll just take. I'll take here, they take, and I castle, maybe? I'm gonna have trouble getting my knight into the game, but that could be a thing. My king should be very safe anyways, so that should be a good way to, you know, preserve tempi, whatever. Although now my bishop's no longer going to be on the diagonal, protecting the pawn. Oh, the king goes to this square, actually. I'm a bit blind. So the rook would defend the bishop immediately. Um, but yeah, this wasn't really my intention. Both these get defended. Where are they going to move the bishop? I think this is probably pretty strong. Reckon. Yeah, I need to get the knight out. Use my extra piece, I think. So we'll play this. Now they're going to move the bishop somewhere. Um, or they move the king up, which seems nonsensical. I'll just bring my knight out, I guess. And now, once my bishop is safe, I can castle. I might even bring it back to c8, just to make it extra safe. You can also maybe tempo the rook. I was thinking about going here, but you know, there are annoyances from this bishop. Oh, it's also worth noting that this bishop sees the square. I've been thinking about going to the square at times with the bishop, like not immediately, but thinking that I would do it in the future, possibly. But yeah, that would hang a bishop. I feel like I've played this person before, have I? No. With the knight, though, I mean, I guess I should just be playing bishop to c5, bishop d5, and then maybe like bishop to b3, potentially. Okay, the bishop comes in. Weird square, because now the rooks can't get connected, but probably very logical. Anyways, I think I'm just gonna bring my bishop here, as this is defended by the knight and spies the pawn. So it sees this diagonal, defends pawn still. Ideas of going here, although I think we might try to play bishop c2, which actually my rook still defends there though. They do this, which technically I don't have to respond immediately to. But it's scary, so I kind of want to. Well, I guess if I castle, then they move the other rook, then I move the rook here. Um, and this bishop move would be covered, and then the bishop can go back. So I think the right idea here is going to be castling. Move it here first. Maybe a little worse. The same idea kind of applies though. Yeah, I'm not really too sure in this case. Because I want the rooks seeing each other so that we can like try to get a rook trade. But yeah, there's no immediate tactic. This should be winning. I'm just trying to look for like the thing that makes it the hardest for me to blunder. The bishop covers the square. I saw that the bishop covers the square before, But then I forgot and I got scared that I blundered. But no, the bishop covers the square. So they can't just like harass the knight and then like try to win the bishop like that. So they just push a pawn, presumably because they don't know what to do. Um, or I guess ostensibly would be a better word there. It's the same thing. So I'm thinking about just moving my bishop to where bishops go. Let them infiltrate with the rook though. So actually, on second thought, I'm gonna just start with the rook to c8 move. If I can trade a set of rooks, there's never any threat on the f7 pawn. Granted, it's going to be difficult for them to do that anyways, but if I trade rooks, it makes it easier. At this point, well, bishop c2 blocks the other rook, though, which could be problematic, actually. You know, if bishop c2 was here and the rook was maybe, let's say, on d3, then it'd be a little annoying. Because if I move here, well, then I drop the pawn here, and then they have these connected passers. But because the bishop moving to c2 to either pawn blocks the rook, then that doesn't actually happen because they can't take first. They'd have to take like this, in which I could take the rook here, they take back, and then I take the bishop. So they can't do that. Okay, reasonable. But now I'm just gonna move my bishop here, I think. It is true that, unfortunately, such a move does block my knight, but I'm not really looking to go to b7 and then face rook d7, so okay. Oh, they pushed the pawns before because the bishop was on that diagonal. I mentioned that at some point, but I never actually like um, noticed that this was hanging. Although I'm not sure I would take it because rook c7 might be a little scary. I don't know. Rook's coming in, so that's why I pushed it. Um, Interesting choice. It's not like they can push it again very easily. I think I'm just gonna trade these rooks because I think that will lead to winning a pawn or a lot of pressure. Because after takes here, if they want to defend like with the rook, then my knight, I believe, tempos them. So I just hung a pawn actually. Um, that is true. I did hang a pawn here. So this is a trade if they want it actually, which makes it a bit annoying, but should be okay. Now I can move my knight in, and I'm getting my pieces really active. Um, so I think we will take the trade for the purpose of activity. Oh, we're also hitting this pawn, which hits the bishop, which hits the king, which was not my intention here really, but they do this, but now I get active. So yeah, we'll just take the pawn. They could maybe make a bishop move like bishop e4. As if I take, they take the knight, but I think that simplification really helps me. Then I would just win the pawn and I'd be up a rook Well, I can't take the pawn actually, because then the bishop would be hanging. But it'd all be like fine and dandy. So they're hitting the pawn. If they take it, I have this, so I'm not too immediately worried. I think I'm just gonna try to hit this pawn. Oh, I also hit this pawn too, which is useful. So if they take, I'm unsure whether I want to go back, take this pawn, or take this pawn. Probably one of these two. I don't think this makes much sense to me intuitively. Um, Here I can also take with the rook. Probably should in that instance, although with this it's probably fine no matter what. Um, Maybe even that, but light square bishop, also they don't really have a way to get there to target me because of this bishop and the edge and whatnot. So this one I find weird because they're just hanging this pawn. And what are they going to try to go to e8 and with the rook? Even that's not winning for them, so king would just move. We will just very simply, I think, take this pawn. Okay, there are no tactics where a piece is hanging after this, which is the first thing I'm looking for. Next thing I'm looking for, I guess, is just this pawn while threatening a check. Yeah, it's the best I can see. We're up 2 pawns and a piece, so even if they win a piece back, it should still be winning, I think, which is very nice. And they just resign. Games ending really scare me, by the way. I'm not going to rematch. Maybe I should. No. I don't like playing more than... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Wait, okay. Then I stopped rematching. Wait, okay. We're good. We're good. No. That was an accident. Okay, this was a blunder. I assume this is the bishop move. It was. Okay, but it worked. Which is not very good logic, but... Whoa! That's interesting. They know that chess.com is looking into my courses that I have on it. So that's cool. Actually, this is great. Good for them updating the site meaningfully. And I guess good for the people paying for it when they should be using Lee Chess, but whatever. Yeah, so I don't think this is the move order I want to play. Maybe it is knight f6. I could open up chessbook and see, I guess. But yeah, I don't remember. I want to play the dragon. I think the dragon starts with knight f6. And then I think here it's g3. You don't play knight c6 so quickly, but yeah. Does it say this is the dragon? Yeah, this is the dragon move order, I think. Whereas, I mean, I don't know what it gives what I played, but... Okay, well, yeah, this is Grand Prix because they played f4. If I play this, they can not play f4. They have to start with this. I think they still can play this. Okay. But yeah, I want to be playing the dragon to help me learn the modern and also just to, well, yeah, I guess mostly that. So that's why I'm playing c5 to play the dragon, but I played the wrong move order. Apparently there's a course move here. Yeah, I play this, which is apparently a book move, not a very good move. Um, the whole idea behind this relied on the fact that this bishop move works, but apparently it doesn't. Um, I thought like CB here, ND? Oh, the rook can take. I didn't consider the rook taking. Okay, so what I calculated, technically it works, except for this one move, I think. Is there another way in which it doesn't work? They want QG, but then I just take it, and I'm fine with this. Apparently it's not very good, but B5. Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think this is too immediately scary. Nothing I should be too ashamed of, other than not seeing the rook takes thing, I think. So what I played didn't work. But so here with the knight of 6, just a very basic knight of 6. Um, Wait, I have the sound on? I can hear the sound. Wait, so that means the music's not playing. I guess. But okay, I guess there's no music. Because I turned the sound off so I can record using this computer's microphone. So like I have it muted, but then I have the music in the background, but I can hear something, which means that, um, well, I guess the music isn't playing. So, yeah, and queen c7 would have been fine. Really? Well, I don't know. From here they can tempo it, but if I just go all the way, but here they can. They'd have to go back too. So, uh, I thought this worked, but it didn't. Apparently this is wrong. Um, they want bishop takes d4, but I looked at this, I think, and I concluded it doesn't work. Oh, actually, maybe it does. Yeah. Okay. Or let's what do they want? They want b4. Um, but knight takes b4. Uh-huh. Why does this work? Oh, I guess how does this work? What's the material count? I'm about to lose a piece now. Oh, the pawn's hanging. I can just take the pawn. My mind just automatically assumed it was defended. So I go back, whatever it takes before. Apparently there's a better way of doing this. They want e5, but this is pretty simple. They want rook c8. And wait, rook c8. That's not. Oh, that's what they wanted from me. They want e5, but I can just take probably. Also, I'm curious if I can take like this, but it'd probably be just simpler to take the knight. DE, you have to calculate more, and there's pressure on the bishop, and yeah, it's not worth it. And then from here, I think it's pretty simple. I don't think I blundered. Okay. Yeah, okay. So what I calculated didn't work, primarily because of rook takes, but I think some other line was also pretty good for them. I tried too hard to get fancy there, but otherwise it was like, okay. Oh, also I played the wrong move order. Against this is very normal move order. I would just play knight f6. Okay. So my lessons are, I'm more likely to remember the move order for the dragon, and well, I don't know, be better. Don't get so eager. Calculate better. Rooks exist. Rooks exist is probably the most most useful advice of that bunch, trying to diagnose a way to play this less, play blunders like that less. Um, because I think ultimately what it came down to was me not seeing the rook and others. Because I can't just not don't play moves, like, no, play moves. Kind of need to play moves, and I need to really try to play the best move even if it's a little risky. So yeah, I think the lesson should should be in terms of, okay, how can I see better in the future, rather than don't play like this, because you're more likely to mess up and lose from that than you are to not mess up and get something out of something so marginal that you don't even think is like too great for you. Just maybe you think is the best, and there's a big chance you mess up. No, I can't be avoiding that if I want to get better, because there will come a point where the margins really matter. So yeah. And how else did this fail? QG, Queen A4, but this is like a bit more complicated, I think. Um, yeah, I don't know. This line doesn't look too scary to me. Like, I guess it's just because this is breaking through, but not something that I'm like, oh, well, that actually, they don't even want knight takes. Wait, but can't they play knight takes? Like, this wouldn't be a blunder, I don't think, so that's crazy. But I guess Stockfish thinks the attack is just so scary that knight to b3. This is line is actually really confusing me. Why would this happen? But I guess this pressure is just so scary. So don't underestimate the pressure, I guess. In this kind of configuration could also be a lesson. But yeah, knight takes not being the best move there. It's crazy because... Oh, is it because the bishop takes c3? Oh, it might be because of this, actually. And then, yeah. Wait, what's king e2? I don't know how that helps you, though. You're still losing a piece in my mind. Wait, no, a piece wasn't lost. I lost a piece in the process. Oh yeah, I'm down a piece in this line. That's why it's a draw. Yeah. Okay.